What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the second episode in this little series showing you how to do the kits, the logos, 3D kits and so on and so forth. Sorry it's been a little bit longer than it has, but the weather's been so cool and great and wonderful that I've been sat in the garden a lot, drinking the odd beer or two and eating crappy food. So I apologise, but we're here now and that's what matters. So this, I originally recorded a video of me making this home kit, but it was a little bit all over the place, so I thought, well, I've got to make the away kit as well, so I'll do that on the video today. So that was the home kit we made yesterday, so that's roughly sort of kind of like the finished article that we're going to get from this video today, and I'm going to show you how, because I've already made it on there, I'm going to show you some of the elements that I'm going to make and then how you can make them, but also how you can just move them over if you want to. So it's quite simple really. But anyway, let's crack on. So we've got our template here. Now these are the pay templates. At the end I will quickly show you another way that you can do these kits that won't look quite as natural as these and real as these, but will do for those of you who just don't want to pay out or can't pay out or whatever. So stick around for that in a bit, and then the next video will be the 3D kits, which will be very simple. I will make that as simple as possible. So we're going to start off with this. So we've gone for the black and white theme. We've got the badge up here, which is black and white, the home kit, which is black and white, well, white and black. So we're going to go with a black and white away kit, just very simple. We're going to be a non-league team when we make them, so it's going to be a very simple, nothing too flashy, nothing over the top, and it would progress more as you went along. Probably wouldn't normally do Adidas as the opening style because you don't see that many teams in non-league lower leagues using Adidas kits, but there are the odd few sprinkled here and there. So we're going to come in and we're going to open up this little thing here, and we've got smarts and we've got parts. So we want to focus on smarts for now. I'll show you a little bit of the parts in a bit. First thing I want to do is I want to click on jersey design, double click on it, open up the colour overlay and click that there so that it will put it into a colour. But we don't want red. We'll come in here and we just want black. Now once you've selected it, it will remember the selection you've made. So I'm going to do this bit first, these two bits on the arms, at the shoulder, sorry, then these bits on the arms and the inner, and then we'll do the collar and the cuffs afterwards. Okay, so I'm just going to do those quickly, just double clicking on them and hitting colour overlay, and you can see it's remembered it, and it tells you here what they are. If you're unsure, you can hold down Control and left click on it and it will highlight the area that it is. If you're a little unsure as to what area of the kit it is, then just press Control and D and that will stop it being selected. So we've got all that in black. Now if I wanted to change the inner, which is these, sorry if you hear the dog next door barking by the way, which is these here, you see that inner there of the arm and that strip there are white. You do it one of two ways, okay? You can do full kit colour here. If you're not bothered about having these a different colour to that, you can double click on this and we'll just say for now make it a yellow just to show you. See it's changed those there. So you can do that. I'm just going to Control and Z to undo that because I actually want them to be white. Or you can open up the parts folder, okay, and click there, a little eyeball will turn everything on. You see how they've all changed colour. You can go through and select and deselect what you want. So the stripe here, if you just go hover over this black box here, Control left click, that's there, Control and D. Or if you want to do the sleeve cuffs, you can see that there. If we double click on that and make it, I don't know, blue, okay, it's changed it to blue. So we'll just undo that because we don't need to do that today, but you can play around with that if you want to and stuff. If you buy one of these templates from yellowimages.com, I'll pop the link in the description down below, hopefully, if I remember. Paul remember to do that. So that's how you would change those. So we're just going to now go in and do the cuffs. Now we'll click on here and it'll go black, but we don't want it to go black. Excuse me. So we'll make it white, like so. Okay, and we'll come in here if it'll ever let me. Thank you very much. Click on there and actually remember that we've changed the colour to white. So there we go, we've got ourselves our base kit. Very simple, very easy peasy. Now the next thing I want to do is patterns, and I have actually got a folder of them. I just search, I Google and spend a lot of time looking for shirt, football shirt patterns, PNG, Adidas shirt patterns, PNG, and all that, this, that and the other. Some of them, like this one, you will get with a transparent background. Some of them, like this, will not have a transparent background. You have to do it yourself. There is another way that you can do it, is if you want this pattern, you can go through the painstakingness of downloading this. Let's say we open it, and then this is what you would have to do. Oh, hang on a minute, that's not what I meant to do. We can say drag it down. We need to bring it up so it's above everything. It'll be on the shirt, and there it is. And then you would have to go through the painstakingness of that going through and basically copying them. That's not a very good colour match. Copying them and then joining all the layers together by selecting the bottom one, holding shift, going up to the top one, right click and merge the shapes. But you'd have to do obviously that for all of those, then change it up and do it for those, and create the pattern, and then keep going until you got enough to cover your shirt, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of a faff, really, to be honest, but there's no easy way to do it if you want that pattern. I mean, I've had to do it with this. I've had to do it myself. I've had to go through and make this. I can't see it because it's black, so let's just make it white. So I had to do it with this. This was for goalkeeper, because the goalkeeper jerseys tend to have the pattern quite large, like that. So I would do it first of all for the body, so I'd sort of line it up a little bit so it covers the bit of the body. Control and J to copy it and move it down, and just have another layer of it about there. Just work out rough about that looks about right, and just have it sort of maybe move it over a little bit, or we could come over this way a little bit, not too much because that's there, but just sort of work out sort of a way, an area where it looks alright for you, like that or something. And then I would just hold down and control and right click and merge those two layers together. Okay, and then we'll do what we're going to do next, but that's the patterning side of things. It's a case of what you can find, use. If you need to make your own, just take your time, make it. There's no rush. Just if you're a bit bored one day, you've got nothing to do, make some patterns. You can look at the pattern images on the internet and just copy them. You know what I mean? If you can't download a PNG of them, you can just copy them. And if you have a pattern, say if you've got a red shirt, this would come in handy if you had a red shirt. You could just drop it on like that, and it'd be fine. What I do is I drop it on, and then I'd make two more layers of it. So Control J twice to make two layers. Just close them off a moment. Select the layer you've got open, and we would come in, hold control and hover over this part of the shirt here, this little cutout of it there, the layered mask, and left click, so it would select all of that. And then if you wanted to add these bits up here, you'd still hold down control and press shift, and that would turn the little box into a plus, and it would add those collar bits there. And then I would just come down to here, click add layer mask, and it would cut it out perfectly to the shirt. Then I'd open this layer up there, control and T, and just angle it slightly, move it over the sleeve, press OK. With that layer selected, hold down control, find that side sleeve, left click, come down to here, layer mask, and then cut it. Then do the same for the opposite arm. Very simple. Really is quite simple, but we're not going to be using those. That was just to show you. This video may be a little bit longer because I'm just going to show you random things as we go along while we're doing it. Obviously normally I wouldn't be doing this, I'd just be banging the kits out, but you know, people ask a lot of questions about how you do certain things. So one I get asked a lot by new kit makers is, how do I add stripes? And it's not as daunting as you think. Select the rectangle tool, come in here, add a stripe, however big you want it, like that. Always go over the inside, like the bottom and the top of the kit. On some kits this white stripe will continue white up to here. On this one it cuts it out for you, but I'll show you what you have to do anyway to cut it out. So we've got that. Control J, get the moving tool, move it across a bit. Control J, move it across a bit. Now you see that there, I think, is more accurate. The 0.487, it shows you they're roughly spread out the same. Control J, come across again. But I'm doing this purposely so that they're not quite on the same spread out distance. They are roughly, but you can see there you've got those. Some of them are in the right place, some of them aren't. So what I want to do is take the top rectangle, hold shift, go to the bottom rectangle, so that's all of those, and we can come in to layer like that and distribute and horizontal centers, and that will space them out perfectly. So they are spaced out perfectly between them. And then if you want to move them all across a bit to get them in line a bit, you can. So you've got them there, and then you just, with them all selected, right click on the top one, merge the shapes, and you've got them all together there. And then the next thing you want to do obviously is cut them into the shirt. So say if we'll do it so that you just want them in the middle here and you don't want them on the shoulders there, you just hold, with that layer selected, hold control and click on there, and it would select that shape of the kit for you. Always click on the layer mask, don't click on here, because if you click on here it does that. So you don't want that, you want that. And then you just click on the little square with the circle on the bottom, and it cuts it out perfectly to that shape. And if you wanted them on the arms, you just do the same. Maybe just copy the layer like I did with the other pattern, angle it slightly, pop it over the arm, select the arm and add a mask to it. It's really that simple. Let's just come back by pressing Control and Z and say we've got that selected, but you do want them to come all the way up here as well. You still hold Control, but also hold Shift now and select this layer and this layer, which is these two here. If you had stripes all the way across and you just wanted stripes going flat down all the way across, you'd add the arms as well. Hit that and it will cut them out and it will go all the way up to there. So that's how you do it. And it's the same with any shapes or patterns that you want on the shirt. You just have to do that. Create the stripes yourself, pop them in. It's really simple, but if you don't know, if you're not being shown, you don't know, do you? So we now have spent a bit of time doing that, so we're going to come in and I'm going to choose a pattern. I went with that one on the home shirt. So is this the Adidas logos? It is the Adidas logos. Right, we'll come in here and we'll make those white, and we're going to come in and we're just going to angle it like this. This is going to be a bit of a different pattern. I've never done this one before. And then I'm just going to Control and J, and I'm just going to bring it down and just sort of get it. That's about right to me, I think that's about right. Looks like it's spaced the same as the others. So I'm going to hold down Shift and select the layers, right click and merge them together. So those two layers are merged together. Now I'm going to Control J just to copy two layers of it, and then just get rid of those for a second. We're going to focus on this bottom one to start off with. So what I like to do now is Control and T, and I'm just going to Control minus to come out a bit and just bring this up so it snaps into the middle, so we've got it nicely centralized. Then Control 0 to come back in. And what I want to do now is again Control and T, and select this here. Okay, so we could, if we wanted to, we could transform, move the thing around ourselves. Control Z, Control. No, just do that. It's easier. So we're not going to do that. We're going to come in here, and I like to do this. I like to bulge it. Okay, and then just make it like about an 8. It just gives it, you can't really tell, but it just gives it a little bit of a rounding to it, so it follows the shirt a bit more. And then click that, and I want this shirt layer to be on both the, no, actually I'm going to take it off those, so we're not going to have it on the arms there, but we're just going to have it in the center. So hold Control, left click on the middle, add the layer to the mask like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tone the opacity down to about 20, so it's just a very subtle pattern on the shirt. And then I'm going to turn on this next layer. I'm going to angle it slightly by Control and T, and just angling it like that. You can see it there, maybe just a little bit like that. Come in with that layer selected, scroll down to the right arm, hold Control, left click, hit the layer to the mask, and then change that to 20, like so. Sometimes on the arms, depending on the colours and the lighting, it can be a little bit darker on the arms, so if you want to, you can up it a little bit, but I'm going to leave it on 20 opacity, just so that, you know, it looks about right to me. And then we're going to come in, do the same again, this time with the other arm. And we'll bring it over just a little bit like that. Left click, layer selected, do its thing, scroll down, hold Control, left click, layer to mask, and turn that to 20. Bob's your uncle. Right, next up we need to do the stripes on the shoulders. I'll show you how to do them first time, but here's a handy tip. If you make a kit and you like what you've done with it, say you nail putting something on the collar, or you nail putting something on the arms, save it. Save the template, because it makes it easier to do this. Then you can come across to the template. What's that? Did I just... Ooh, there we go. Come across to the template. This is the template of the home kit. Okay, and you can literally come down, select the layer, this is for these, left click and hold it on the move tool, drag it across, plop it on. We'd have to change the colour of it to white, and then literally just use the arrow keys and stuff to move it into place. How simple is that? Once you've done it once, you like it, you can save the template, so you can do things like that and just move it across. Makes it so much easier. So that's how you could do that, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to show you now how you would add it without doing that. So we're going to come in and add a new layer first of all, and we're going to go to the brush tool. Okay, and I'm selecting a hard brush like this one, and we need to make sure it's white. It is. And what I tend to do is I just do that, start off with, just to see how big it is. Now to me that's a little bit too small, so I'm going to just use the keys to make it a bit bigger. There we go, that's a bit better. So Control Z on both of those. So we've got our brush size, that's our brush size. We're now going to come down and select the pen tool. So if you're not on the pen tool there, if you go on there, just hold left click, select the pen tool. You could use the other one where you can add the bumps and stuff in, but I'm not going to do that, not today. So I'm going to click about here, left click, and then there, and hold the left click down and just sort of angle it a little bit, and then right click on it, stroke to path, OK, right click and delete the path. So we've got one in there, and that should be alright. We're just gonna angle it just a little bit like that, so there's roughly about the same space between there and there and there and there. You could try and add a dip in there if you wanted to, but I'm not going to worry about that too much at the moment. And then we're going to Control J, so we've got a new layer. Come to the move tool, I'll hold down shift just to move it up slightly, keeping it in place, and then just use the arrow key to up it a little bit more. Then Control J, once again just shift it up, and that's about right actually. So we've got 3 stripes there, all on the shirt. Select the layer. Okay, so we've got the top layer, hold shift, select the bottom layer, so all 3 of those stripes are selected. Right click and merge the layers so they're merged. And then what I'm going to do is Control J, okay, and then come into edit, transform, and flip horizontally. Hold shift, hold left click, and just drag it across, and then use the arrows just to put it in roughly the point where you think needs to go. The shirt is, you'll probably see more of the top one on that one than you will on this one when you're moving it around and stuff, but it adds just a little bit of realism because the shirt wouldn't sit perfectly the same both sides. So that's that. Then I'm going to hold shift and select both layers, right click and merge, and then I only want them in here, but you can see they've sort of drifted over onto the arms. So with that layer selected, I'm going to come down to these 2 bits of the shirt, hold down Control, left click, hold down Control and Shift, left click to select both of those, then click on the little mask layer, and boof, there you go. Control and 0 to pull it out. So we've got those on there. Brilliant stuff, lovely job, easy as peas. Now I would normally do the same for the collar. What I would do is I would come in, I'd first of all change that. It's on black, so that's okay. Do this for now. So that's, why are you on white? Go back to black. So it's on black like that, and come in and go to the pen tool, and you can select this one here, the curvature, I call it the curvaceous pen tool, the curvature pen tool. And what you can do is just use it to mark out on here a few areas, and then if you hold left click you can start to drag it in certain places and sort of shape it around the collar, and then right click, straight to path, okay. But you see, the trouble with this is it takes quite a bit of getting used to, and I would probably be sat here for a little while shaping that out. You can see it's a little bit humpy bumpy, needs to be made a little bit bigger, and would need to be played around with a bit. You'd have to sort of use the rubber tool, the eraser tool, to get rid of that bit and stuff, and all this, that and the other. And then you would just use, hovering on that layer, you would come down to the collar layer, hold Control, hit it, and add the layer to mask. But we're not going to do that, because I'll be here forever trying to perfect that, and it would be a nightmare. So like I say, when you make one that you're happy with, save it. And we're over here, we've got our, this is the layer for these here, so we're just going to drag it over, pop it on. I'm just going to change the colour to black, so up, and then I'm literally just going to move it into position like that. So that's it, that's your cheats way. Once you've done it once, you can make sure you don't have to keep doing it over and over again. And it's took me a while to get into that, but I've done it now, so there you go. So that's that. Next up, we need to add the badges and stuff. So first things first, it's the old Adidas, as people call it. So we'll pop it on there. It's a bit on the black side at the moment, so we need it to be brought through to the white colour, otherwise we'd never see it on the shirt. And pop it like that. I'm just going to do that for now, because I like to, when I'm doing the kit make on the shirt, I like to make sure that it doesn't have the little copyright R thing there. So just delete that off, Control and T again, and then we'll come in, and I've zonked in a little bit too much there. So if we bring this to about that size, angle it slightly. Okay, so this is what I would do, angle that slightly, and then oh, I've come off it, Control T if you come off it by mistake like I just did, transform and perspective, and I'm going to come in, and what I want to do is, while we're on perspective, is this little corner here, I'm just going to drag it down ever so slightly. Oh, I've gone too far. Let's try that again. Just one like that, and then this one here, hold left click and just drag it in a little bit so that it angles it, and Control and T again just to add a little bit of that to it. And I may have done that a little bit too much actually, but that's not a problem, we can resolve that at some other point. A little bit bigger. So we've done that there. Let's have a look. A different, I don't know actually. It's a little bit higher than that one, but it's not quite so bad. Because normally what I do is I make that one, then I just carry on using that, save that template, change the back colour and change the images and stuff, and leave the logos as they are and just change the colours. But obviously today we haven't done that, so we'll pop that in about there. Should be alright. And then next we're going to get the logo, so we're just going to drag and drop your logo, which we made in the first episode, and then I'm just going to bring it over here a little bit, and I like to make sure it's sort of in the centre with that, so that it doesn't look like it's too high or too low. And we're going to come right in again, scroll up, we've already got it selected, edit, transform, perspective, and then I'm just going to drop it one and angle it slightly, and then angle it a little bit like that, so that it's sort of a little bit, it seems a little bit big, that badge. Quite a substantial size badge. I think it's because it's got the circle and the lion on it, it makes it quite a substantial size badge. And then we'll just move it over so it's in the right place. It's around about right. Maybe just a tad. This is the fiddly bit. These are the bits that take your time, because you need to get into your rhythm of where you want your logos and badges and the sizes and stuff that you're happy with. Next thing you're up, we're going to drag the high sponsorship over and just make it a little bit smaller and place it around about there. I like to have mine just a little bit higher up. Some people seem to have them all the way down there, but because of the way the shirt, you have to look at the way the shirt sits. So because there's a little bump out on the chest, because obviously all the creases sort of move up towards the chest, it would pull the sponsor up a little bit. It's just a little trick on the eye to make it feel a little bit more comfortable. We're going to come in, double click on it, colour overlay, and then what I like to do is Control and T and then click on here, and I like to free transform them a little bit. This works better with sponsors that are longer than they are, but this is quite a square one, but that's not a problem. And I like to just do this with them, pull those up a little bit, drop that in, and then pull these out a bit, and then drop that in and pull these down, and then just repeat the same on the other side. And if you want to really sit and work with it, you can kind of get it so that it looks like it's following in with the shape of the shirt and stuff, but that just, it doesn't really work that well on that sponsor, but it just looks like it's following the pattern of the shirt a little bit more, so that's good, I like it. And then what I did on this shirt was I took the Adidas logo again and some text, and I just pop them in there. So we'll do the same again, but what we'll do is We'll make them white. Because if they stay black, you won't be able to see them on the both, and just pop them down into there. And all that is just a little thing that says Adidas and large, just to add a little something to it. And that is that, really. That is the kit. It's nothing majorly spectacular. It's nothing over the top. It was a little bit higgledy-piggledy and me making a few mistakes here and there and forgetting to do stuff and maybe confusing you, so I apologise if I did. But all in all, that is all I do in my kits. It's nothing rocket sciencey. It just takes time to get used to it. You just have to take your time to do patterns. If you want to, the more detail you want to add, the more time it's going to take. There's no quick fix to it. But like I say, save templates. I've got so many saved, so I can just go in there and change colours and logos and stuff, and that's it. Job done. Don't have to worry about it. So I am going to save this one. File, save as. Never save over your template, otherwise it's a pain in the arse. But if you buy them for yellow images, like I say, you can re-download them if you need to. But we're going to call this, we've got City of London home, so we'll just save this as away. Simple as peas. And then I will save also, file, save as. Oh, you have to wait, this take a while to save. File, save as. And then in my graphics folder, we've got that folder that we created last time for City of London FC. Come in, PNG. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was going to say there's the home kit, but I clicked on it by accident. There we go, save that as a PNG. So we've just got those in PNG format as well. So they're saved in there, no problems at all. So we'll close that down and we'll leave the PNG open for the home kit. Oh, that's the TIFF, isn't it? That's gone well, hasn't it? Marvellous. There's the PNG. That's the PNG for the home kit. Right, so here's the PNG for the home kit. I'm going to show you now how you would save it into the game. So you go, when you've got yourself a kit pack, so say you've downloaded a Premier League kit pack, you can add your kits to it. Just because it's Premier League doesn't mean that it will only do Premier League kits. It's just that's its section off as a Premier League kit pack. If you've got a mega pack, you can add it in there, but I'm just going to add this to an existing pack already, because in the last episode I showed you with the badge how to add it to a new one, new config file. You could do the same, copy a config file and edit it, and have a new folder for your own kits or whatever, but this one we'll just add to an existing one. So mine are in Documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 2020, Graphics, Kits, and I've got a Premier League one here. So I'm just going to open a random. I'll open the City of London because I saved this yesterday. So we'll go into this and open it. So there it is. You see it's a lot smaller. So I'm going to come over to our PNG, Control and T, and just make it a little bit smaller, and then drag it and drop it in. It's still massive, but it just means we don't have to scroll out so much, and then just resize it. Pull it across. Okay, and we'll just hide the layer at the bottom, and that is now the size it needs to be to go in game. So we can come in, File, Save As, and it will save it into this folder because we're copying over. It's imperative, don't save over your kit that you've used as your template to resize. PNG, and then you would name it whatever configuration you want to name it. So in this kit pack they've gone like Chelsea _1 for home, _2 for away, _3 for third kit. So I would save this as I have done, City of London _1. You can't have spaces, so you have to have an underscore. Whereas when I make my own kit packs, I would do City of London _H for home, A for away, T for third. But it's just whatever you want to do. Either way works fine. So we would do that and save it. Oh, it doesn't matter that I'm saving over that because it's the same kit. And then we'd do the same for the away. We would come in, drop it in, resize it and save it, City of London _2 for away. So that would be that saved. Okay, so once you've done that, you need to come in and edit the config file. So there it is. Left click on it once to select it, then right click and open with Notepad, and it brings all this jargon up. Now what I did is copied that line there, so you just Control C, came down, clicked on the end of there, hit enter to come down, and just moved it. I'll tell you what, let me just delete this out, this would be easier if I do this. Okay, so this is what I did. It was like that. I came in, took that, Control C, came here, hit enter to take me to the next level, then enter again just to add to keep it uniform, and then I just tabbed across twice, Control and V, so it's copied that line there. Then all I need to do is come in here and change this to City of London, and it's already _1. It is imperative that this is exactly the same as you've named the kit. So if you're unsure, just double check. There it is, City of London _1, City of London _1. And then this here has to be the club number. I showed you in the last video how to find the club number. So it's on when you've got your club IDs, your ID numbers set up on the game. It is underneath the club name on the club screen. If you're in the editor, it's the club ID number on there. If you're doing this from the editor, you can find it that way. We don't have a club number, we haven't created them, so for now, for the purposes of this tutorial, we're just using 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So that has to be the name of the picture file, and that has to be the name of the club, the name of the club, the number of the club, the ID number of the club. If there's any issues, it's normally because you've misnamed something or got a number wrong or something like that. Then you would just file, save, and that would save that over. Then go into the game, load it up, get your database going with your club, or if you're just making a kit for Arsenal or whoever, I would move this number 1, 2 and 3 into here, and then add Arsenal 1, 2 and 3 in there of my kits. So I always make an archive and move the old folders over, rename them something and move them over into the archive folder, so they're always there in case I want to move them back again, and so on and so forth. Go into the game, clear the cache, reload the skin, and your kits should appear in the game, no problem. So that's that. Now this video is very long, so I apologise, but we're just going to do one last little bit. For those of you who do not want to pay for the templates and stuff, which is completely understandable, I can understand it. I don't really like paying for them, but there you go, I have to. If I want to make that style of kit, I have to pay the money. Sometimes you gotta speculate to accumulate, even though I don't make any money from making kits for myself, but I know what I mean anyway. But there you go. So what you can do, in the link below, hopefully I'll remember, is a lovely little thing for Football Manager Scout. I don't know why I call it Football Manager Scout, for FM Scout website, and on there is a little link to download this kit pack. It's called the PR Kit Brand Templates. Now they've gone into tremendous work, Donald Trump here, tremendous work to make a hell of a lot of templates for these kits, a hell of a lot. So if you go into Adidas, go into preview, they've templated all of these kits. Okay, so say we wanted to make a third kit, and we just say this one, number 20. We'll go back and find the PSD that is 20, double click, and there we go. Has it started hammering it down? No, it hasn't. My wife's gone out for a run. I thought it just started hammering it down with rain. So you can see they've got this, and the difference is when you zoom in, you see it's gone a little bit blurry, and that's because the template for these is already set for the size in game, and if you make it bigger, it's going to blur. So with the other ones, because they're so big, you can resize them quite a bit. You can make them small then big again, and they don't tend to blur so much. But these ones have already been condensed right down so that they're ready to go in the game. So you don't have to do any of the going in and finding a shirt and resizing and stuff. You just literally save the PNG in there and it's done. So all you would do on this, there's so many stuff in here. So there's the collars, you can go in, look, you can change the colours of them, double click on there, go into colour overlay. I don't know, make it yellow if you want. I don't know what you want to do. Where are we? Make it yellow if you want, all that sort of stuff. So you can go in and do all that. If you wanted to angle the logo on the shirt, you can do, because you've got your logos in there. So you've got your Adidas there. You see, it'll be a little bit blurred when you zoom into it, but you can Control and T, and maybe even if you just do that and perspective, that, even if you only did it like that, just a little bit, it's worked. And then just drag your logo in, resize it, drag your sponsor in, resize it, and use the techniques you've used on the other thing to do it. And you can, or if you just wanted to use the base of this shirt and switch all of the patterns off and make a striped shirt of your own, or add a pattern of your own, you could download the patterns like I have and just do it over this shirt. You know what I mean? It's that simple. So that cuts out so much time. But yeah, that's how you do it. You can use the techniques I've done earlier in the video on these kits just the same, no problems at all. So I hope that, I know it's been a little bit here and there, and I've made a few mistakes along the way and said a few things a bit silly, but that's how I do things. You know me, I don't take this seriously, I don't get bogged down by it all. So hopefully it's helped you out. If it has, leave a like, let me know. You can always send me your kits on Twitter if you want to. Fire them over, I'm always happy to have a little look. I like seeing what people have done and stuff. It's always a bit of fun. Next episode, I'll add the 3D kit template in as well, but next episode we'll do 3D kits. I'll do the 3D version of the kit we've just done, I think, and we can show you how to do that, and then I'll put a download for the template so you can make your own 3D kits. But anyway guys, I've babbled on for long enough, my throat hurts, I'm losing my voice, so it's been a pleasure being in your ears. Ta-ra.